Imagine standing under a night sky, gazing up at the constellation Orion, when your eyes land on a reddish point of light, Betelgeuse. A name that echoes like a cosmic whisper across astronomy, myth, and scientific speculation. But what if, by some twist of fate or unfathomable technology, you fell into it, not near it, not around it, into the belly of a dying star 640 light-years away, swollen, furious, and pulsing with the rage of an impending supernova? What would that journey be like? What would your body feel, your mind endure, and what would you witness during this descent into one of the universe's most dramatic deathbeds? From Earth, Betelgeuse looks like just another dot in the sky. But if it were at the center of our solar system, it would stretch past the orbit of Jupiter. This isn't just a big star. It's a monster, a red supergiant nearing the end of its life. Its mass is more than 10 times that of the Sun, but it's bloated and unstable. The outer layers ripple and convulse like the breath of a terminal patient. The surface alone isn't solid or even predictable. It's a chaos of plasma bubbles the size of planets, rising and collapsing in slow, deadly motion. Falling into Betelgeuse wouldn't be like descending into anything you've ever imagined. It would be like surrendering yourself to a nightmare stitched together from fire, gravity, and the raw forces of physics. Now, say you're falling, somehow, you've been transported to a few thousand kilometers above Betelgeuse's surface. That alone is a paradox. You're inside the star's atmosphere before you've even crossed what might be called the surface. You don't feel the heat right away. There's no wind, no light pressing against your skin, because in space, there is no air to conduct the heat. But as you plummet downward, approaching the outer photosphere, particles begin to hit you. Superheated hydrogen and helium atoms slam into you at speeds that defy comprehension. Your body is unprotected, and it disintegrates molecule by molecule, atom by atom. But let's stretch the rules of storytelling. Assume you're invulnerable, a ghost with human senses. You feel it all. You survive it all. Just to witness the impossible. The first thing that strikes you is the brightness. Betelgeuse is not uniformly lit. Its surface glows with patches of intense orange and red, cooler than other stars, but still glowing at temperatures of over 3,000 degrees Celsius. You see upwelling columns of plasma, like underwater volcanoes of fire, reaching up into space. The scale is disorienting. One of these bubbles could swallow Earth whole. You realize that Betelgeuse breathes not in the way you do, but with monstrous convulsions that push material out into its surrounding space. You're inside a star that has been dying for hundreds of thousands of years, casting off mass like a tree shedding leaves in winter, except every leaf is a world of fire. As you fall deeper, the pressure begins to mount. The density increases. Now, it's not just loose plasma and light now, you're feeling the weight of mass, of gravity compressing gas into something thicker. Around you, the opacity changes. Light doesn't travel freely anymore. You're not floating through a glowing sky. You're in a churning fog of brilliance and fury. It's not silent either. If sound could travel through this, it would scream. But your mind simulates the vibrations, seismic booms of magnetic storms, the roars of collapsing currents, the low growl of fusing elements. Then you reach the convection zone, a region where massive currents transport heat from the interior toward the outer layers. It's like diving into an ocean of magma currents where the water boils you from every side. Here, the scale warps again. You're not falling meters per second. You're being dragged down by turbulent flows that rise and fall over millions of kilometers. You're tossed like a ragdoll through loops of burning material, twisted and turned as the star tries to regulate its own chaotic breath. The gravity is starting to press against your ghostly skin like a blanket of anvils. You feel crushed, not instantly, not sharply, but gradually, like the weight of a dying god folding around your body. Deeper still, the light fades. Paradoxically, inside this furnace, it gets darker. Because photons, the tiny particles of light, now take hundreds, thousands of years to travel a single centimeter, you have entered the radiation zone. Here, the heat is transferred not by motion, but by diffusion. Particles bounce into each other so frequently, and with such intensity that light itself can barely escape. You are blind, floating in a dense soup of fusion. The silence is total. The heat is immeasurable. If your body still had a heartbeat, it would have stopped long ago, but your awareness persists. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, you approach the core. This is the furnace that made Betelgeuse a star, a place where hydrogen was once fused into helium, then helium into carbon, then carbon into heavier elements. But Betelgeuse is dying. Its core now fuses silicon into iron. Iron the end of the line, because fusing iron doesn't produce energy, it consumes it. You are staring into the final act of stellar life. The core is a dense, crushing, leaden sphere hotter than anything you've ever known, hotter than the core of the sun, hotter than any forge humanity has ever imagined. And it is unstable, because once that iron core gets too massive, it will collapse. Not slowly, gently, but catastrophically. You are now seconds, maybe moments, away from a supernova. The core cannot hold itself up anymore. Gravity wins. The iron core collapses in on itself, shrinking from thousands of kilometers to mere tens in the blink of an eye. It's like watching a city become a coin. The entire star is torn apart. In a matter of seconds, Betelgeuse transforms from a red supergiant into a titanic corpse. The explosion outshines entire galaxies. You're flung outward with the shockwave, no longer falling but flying, hurled through space, caught in the debris of atoms, light, dust, and fury. Around you, the star dies in silence, but the light it gives off will cross light years, touch planets, possibly even Earth, becoming a new star in the sky, brighter than the moon for weeks, then fading, leaving behind a neutron star or a black hole. If it forms a neutron star, it will be a city-sized object with the mass of our sun, spinning hundreds of times per second, surrounded by a magnetic field so intense it could rip iron from your blood. If it becomes a black hole, then the core collapses past its own shadow. Nothing escapes, not even light. The ghost of Betelgeuse will remain as gravity etched into the fabric of space-time. As you drift through the expanding remains of the star, you witness a cosmic birth from death. New elements, oxygen, gold, uranium, all forged in that death throe, will someday form planets, oceans, bones, civilizations. You just watch the universe recycle itself. Not peacefully, but through chaos, through fire. Through the end of a star called Betelgeuse, you return to your own star, now the sun, with a deeper understanding of what it is and what it will one day become. Because all stars die, some quietly, some in blazing finales. Our sun won't go supernova, it's too small. It'll expand into a red giant and then quietly become a white dwarf. But Betelgeuse, it's riding its will across the heavens right now. Its dimmings, its strange pulses, its irregular behavior, they're the final breaths, the final calls of a star preparing to erupt. And if you were to fall into it, really fall, you would not just witness death, you'd witness creation. You'd feel the universe folding, unfolding, and breathing again. You'd understand that even in obliteration, there is order. Even in death, there is life waiting to be born. Like, subscribe, and keep your eyes on Orion. Because one night, maybe soon, that reddish star may vanish forever, not silently, but in a blaze that lights up our sky and reminds us just how alive and how violent the cosmos truly is.